Hello and welcome to Joy News at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM and Hits 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we are on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana, 16 regions, including Bethlehem FM, Bumpurugu, Castle FM, Cape Coast, Laura FM, Laura, and Radio Max Takrade. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, a Ghana Bar Association appeals to court administrators to resolve delayed jury allowance payments after members of the High Court walked out of live court proceedings in protest.
We are appealing to the Supervising High Court judge and the administrator to take advantage of the legal vacation period to work on their returns.
We'll hear from a criminal law practitioner who describes their action as disrespectful.
Or come and sit at the audience, everybody is there, and then you walk off. I mean, very disrespectful.
Also, meeting between striking graduate physician assistants and the Ministry of Health ends in a stalemate as the industrial action begins to bite hard.
We are still continuing. In fact, if we have to do it for 100 days, we will do it.
Actually, we feel that they don't understand the processes.
We've got details as the leadership of the Graduate Physician Assistants Association petition the NLC to intervene as they accuse the Ministry of Health of bad faith. In business,
Agribusiness Chamber warns Ghana could face shortage of onions due to coup in Niger. We'll tell you why on the Joy Business Report.
Also, Parliament passes law to criminalize witchcraft accusation and the practice of witch doctors and witch finders.
Honorable members, Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2022 is read the third time and passed.
And much later in the bulletin, is music always a reflection of real-life experiences or purely fiction?
I'm smiling, but I'm dead inside. Look into my eyes.
Sometimes when you are telling people their truth, it sounds quite uncomfortable for them. So I think there's an honesty to the song. That's why when you hear it, there's something kicking you and telling you, there's something there.
I'm Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Please stay for details. In our first story, the Upper West Regional President of the Ghana Bar Association, Sadiq Ubaidu, has appealed to administrators of the High Court to resolve issues surrounding the delayed payment of the jury in the region to avert a possible grounding of the justice system in the area. His comments is in reaction to a shocking spectacle on Thursday when members at the High Court walked out of live proceedings over unpaid allowances. Speaking on Top Story last night, Sadiq Ubaidu says the matter must be resolved before the court resumes from legal vacation.
The court will rise for the legal vacation after Monday next week. So we are appealing to the Supervising High Court judge and the administrator to take advantage of the legal vacation period, that is August and September, to work on their returns. And the Supervising Court has assured us that he will be free sometime Tuesday onwards, that he will follow up to Accra and make sure that the payments are done before the legal year resumes sometime in October.
Meanwhile, criminal law practitioner Augustine Obo has condemned the action of the jury, describing it as disrespectful to the court.
It is very disrespectful to a judge. I mean, a High Court judge is sitting, you are even privileged to be a juror sitting by the side and working with a High Court judge. Then you look at the judge and then you work out that your salary. Why did you come in the first place if you knew you were going to work out? Why did you come? Why did you just write a letter that you'll not be able to get today because you are fighting for your allowance? Why do you have to let the court come and sit at the audience? Everybody is there, parties are there, lawyers are there, and then you walk off. I mean, they will not do that again. Very disrespectful.
Augustine Obo is a criminal law practitioner. A meeting between leadership of striking graduate physician assistants and the Ministry of Health ended in a deadlock, raising tension between the two parties. The physician assistants are demanding the ministry to withdraw the proposed amendment of Act 857 under the Health Professionals Bodies Act, as they fear it will disempower their members. The ongoing strike is taking a toll on healthcare services across the country. President of the association, Anthony Asaria Akon, says they are not backing down on their actions.
It ended in a stalemate with usual political talks. there wasn't any substantive presentation from the ministry from our point. We could not also hearken to withdraw our strike action. So the strike is still on. In fact, it will intensify the coming days due to the posture that they are actually showing us. They are indifferent and not really seeing our problems as very critical too.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health says the striking group is failing to appreciate the processes laid out to resolve their issues. Isaac Ofeba is the public relations officer at the ministry.
The ministry is going to engage further because there are processes that will lead to a society or an association going on strike. Secondly, what they seek the ministry to do for them is not something that is within the mandate of the ministry. And so when it got to the amendment level that the committee will request for a memorandum of understanding and all that, we will all have the opportunity to go and amend or write for amendment. They said no, they can't do that. Actually, we feel like they don't understand the processes and we feel like maybe they have another agenda they want to pursue instead of what they are asking us to do.
Now let's head to Parliament, where members have passed a law to criminalize the accusation, naming or labeling of another person as a witch. The amendment also prohibits the practice by any person as a witch doctor or witch finder. In 2020, 90-year-old Madame Equia Dente was lynched in the Savannah region after she was accused of witchcraft. A few such incidents have occurred since then, prompting the passage of this bill, sponsored by Madina MP Francis Xavier Sosu. Here are excerpts from Parliament.
I move that the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2022 be now read the third time. I so move. Seconder.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to second the motion.
Motion for the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill to be read the third time. Moved and seconded. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members.
An act to amend the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, to prohibit the practice by any person as a witch doctor or a witch finder, to proscribe the declaration, accusation, naming or labeling of another person as a witch, and for related matters.
Honorable members, Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2022 is read the third time and passed.
And you heard excerpts of proceedings in Parliament on the passage of the witchcraft law. Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo has told Parliament that both private and public institutions affected by the construction of the National Cathedral have been adequately compensated. A number of structures were demolished to make way for the construction of the cathedral. The minister says these institutions have been provided with alternative public lands. This is despite Waterstone Realty, one of the affected companies, suing government.
Numo Logistics Limited has been relocated to Cantonment, and Comsys Limited has been relocated to East Ridge. Thus, Mr. Speaker, all persons, both public and private, who were affected by the construction have been adequately compensated by way of alternative properties.
Now, the suspect involved in the Adisadel College assault is set to appear in court this morning as the Attorney General's office is determined to use the case as a deterrent to others. Deputy AG Alfred Chiayabwa says impunity in schools must not be allowed to thrive. In a viral video, the suspect, who is a disco student, held his colleague in a chokehold and hit his head against a metallic bank bed on campus.
And this is a case that we think every effort must be put in to ensure that justice is done. This practice where students think that when they are immune from prosecution, for that matter, can engage in any criminal activity, must be stopped.
Deputy Education Minister John Intim-Fojo says the ministry supports the decision by the AG to prosecute the suspect.
On our part as Education Ministry, we fully agree with the actions initiated by the Attorney General's office. Right at the outset, we at Ministry of Education directed the school authorities to cooperate fully with the law enforcement agency in these actions by law initiated.
Clinical psychologist at the Methodist University, Dr. Adolfo Ukubekwing, says although he supports the prosecution, the judge should take consideration the fact that the suspect is a juvenile.
Holding the child accountable for what he has done, I fully support that. But how do you hold people accountable in a system that is very less on rehabilitation? That is why I vote for, and I will plead with the judge to go by the details of the Juvenile Act and divert the child from the criminal justice system.
And moving on to entertainment, singer Kiddy says his recent I Lied song was not a mere attempt to be creative, but to tell a story. He's drawing on the success from that song for his new release, Lekker, a tune he believes will take over the world.
I'm smiling, but I'm dead inside.
You know, a lot of the music that we make as artists, most of them are fiction, you know, ideas, and, you know, we want to create something. But the honesty in the song is what sometimes makes it uncomfortable for people. You know, sometimes when you are telling people their truth, it sounds quite uncomfortable for them. So I think there's an honesty to the song. That's why when you hear it, there's something kicking you and telling you, there's something there. Because an honest song, it's a song about how we have to go about our day two-faced, you know, sad, but we have to smile to the world and do what we have to do. And that honesty is what you term as darkness. It's a dark cloud around the song. And I'm taking that same energy into Lekker. I remember everything that is happening with Lekker because I'm projecting that this song is going to take over the world. Like, we'll have this conversation again.
And we continue that conversation at home. That's it for the bulletin. In our top story, the Ghana Bar Association appeals to court administrators to resolve delayed jury allowance payments after members other high court in Wa walked out of live court proceedings. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Business is next on the Super Morning Show.